Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's the UFC 282 preview show. We're live. We're doing it. Let's go.
Let's go!
Hey, there we go. We're excited. We're having a good time. How's everybody doing? Holiday season. Look how festive we are tonight, boys. Festive.
It's nice. Let's go, Brazil!
We're gonna make World Cup predictions a little bit later on. I'm very pumped for the World Cup. We're on to the quarterfinals now. We're down to the nitty-gritty of it all. England and France, 2 p.m. Saturday. I've got that circled on my calendar, as you can see. Longtime France fan. AJ, you might remember this jersey from 2006 when Italy beat France in the final. You were very happy about that, I'm sure. Zidane with that headbutt that we will never, ever forget on that Materazzi guy. That was annoying. Anyhow.
Thank you, Zidane.
Yes. Thank you,
what
Zidane. Thank you, Zidane. Not for the headbutt, even though it was pretty cool. It's a cool, badass move. But also just for being awesome and being Zidane. But also thank you to Kylian Mbappe and the rest of the French national squad doing so very well at the World Cup, beating Poland easily and moving on to face England on Saturday. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, of course, UFC 282, which takes place Saturday night in Las Vegas. The final UFC pay-per-view of the year, a year that has been fantastic for the UFC. What a great year we've seen in the octagon. Some tremendous fights. The UFC once again bringing us quality entertainment with a blockbuster pay-per-view each and every month. You could criticize Uncle Dana all you want, but at the end of the day, every single month, we're getting a blockbuster pay-per-view from the UFC, and that is my primary concern, but also the fighter safety and well-being and the fact that they're paid well. That's also very important. You know, I'd like these guys to be paid as much as possible. You know, I'd like them to be making, say, Aaron Judge money.
Very much.
Right?
Whoa.
Aaron Judge money, pretty good. Aaron Judge, 9 years, $360 million with the New York Yankees.
I want them to be able to do all the juice they can to get back healthy.
Yeah, we'll talk about
I got a
Conor.
bad knee right now, man. I would do all the juice in the world.
Yes.
The Conor TJ.
Can I get off
TJ
USADA?
sauce.
You're not on USADA, Fred. I don't drug test you for this show. You can do as many steroids as you want. You're allowed.
Man, this show doesn't have any drug testing for sure. I can assure you that.
No.
Listen, Dave, I was going to get to something. I just
AJ
realized
is on
something.
all the drugs. He's on the picograms tonight.
Listen, man, I just realized something. When you mentioned like Zidane back in 2006, I just realized I have something in common with him because he lost the World Cup,
Bald?
and in one of my first in one of my first jiu-jitsu matches, that's how I got disqualified. Remember, I was telling you one time I like went headfirst into the guy's sternum. Yeah, and he went out, and I got this. I got disqualified. I tried to go for like a double, and it didn't work. It just went like a torpedo. But it just that was me and
Red
Zidane,
card.
man.
Red card for AJ.
Red card.
Out of the match.
Out.
Shout out to everybody Shout out to everybody renewing their memberships. I saw Patrick C. Hamilton renewing his membership. All the members that support the Ringside Report Network and have supported us over the year, we do very much appreciate you. Join.ringsidereport.net if you have not already, and subscribe to the channel. We give you, well, tonight only, I'm going to give you 5 years good luck if you subscribe. So you have 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and you're subscribed. Thank you very much. You are awesome. So, UFC 282, wow, Conor McGregor in the news. As always, it seems like every week we come on this show and Conor has done or said something that has made news, and that just shows you how big of a star he is. last week, UFC Orlando, Rafael Dos Anjos beat Brian Barberena. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson beat Kevin Holland. Both guys called out Conor McGregor after their fights. Both guys wanted to fight Conor McGregor. Not because Conor McGregor is the champion, not because Conor McGregor has won a fight even recently. They called out Conor McGregor because he is a money-making machine and he doesn't have an opponent. So the Conor McGregor sweepstakes are on. It's red panty night, as Conor McGregor would like to say. Right? That's how he puts it. I don't like to speak in such crude terms. Nevertheless, Conor McGregor, very much on the minds of all MMA fans all of the time, and even MMA fighters, because if you're fighting at 170 pounds or 155 pounds in the UFC, you have a shot at being Conor McGregor's next opponent. If you have a name, it helps. You really do have to have a name, right? You have to be a guy like Wonderboy or Dos Anjos. I mean, some random dude in the UFC could call out Conor. It's not going to make much of a difference. So I was really impressed, by the way, with the fights last weekend. I thought the UFC delivered in Orlando. Great card from the UFC. Every fight on the main card was finished. Nothing went to decision. Did you guys know that? I mean, Philip Rowe knocked out Nico Price. Eric Anders knocked out Kyle Dawkins, which I told you was going to happen last week, AJ. You didn't believe in your boy, Eric Anders. Roman Dolidze with an amazing TKO over Jack Hermanson. You guys see that? The calf slicer to take the back.
Man, that was beautiful.
And then he pounded him out with the ground and pound. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was nasty, man.
Beautiful grappling from Dolidze there.
Beautiful.
Sergey Pavlovich, holy shit!
I told you that,
right? One. Yeah, you did tell me about Pavlovich. You were right. You were right about Pavlovich, but you did pick Brian Barberena over Dos Anjos, AJ, and I picked Dos Anjos. So,
yes,
we were 50-50 on our picks last week. We weren't. I think we both picked Kevin Holland too, which we were wrong about. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Freddie's the only one that went with
Kevin Holland.
Yeah, we're dumb, Fred. We're dumb. Okay, what do you want? We're not good at this.
Listen, man.
That was a nice performance by Stephen Thompson. Great win by Thompson.
Well, he looked great, but, Holland was looking really good until he, I think, broke his hand. I don't know what happened to his hand, but there was a point where one of his hands was completely busted up, and he became far less effective. Like, he was doing all right, but, Wonderboy was just piecing him up, and eventually the corner stopped it because, Kevin Holland couldn't throw, I think, was it a left hand? I think it was a left hand. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Listen, man, at least he stayed till literally the distance, man, because from what I heard from him, he broke it in the first round. Wow. And he looked impressive in the first couple of rounds with a broken hand. So, you got to give it to him. But it's too bad, man.
The first you got to give it to him from AJ tonight.
He's 40 years old. 40 years old, man, and he's still kicking. And you know what? He had a great performance regardless, man. That's the thing with Wonderboy. When he throws those nasty kicks, man, wow, it's unbelievable. You get to see karate at its best, man. But
Take
Kevin
it easy.
Holland was
He's 39.
doing well. Kevin Holland's 39?
No, Wonderboy.
Oh, you're talking about, what are you talking about? Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, he's 39.
Yeah,
you said he was
39.
40.
He's going to be 40 very soon, man, in a couple of months.
I'm saying.
Yeah, All to say is congratulations to Wonderboy, man.
He looked great. Great
awesome fight. Maybe
amazing
fight of the year, man. What do you think?
Go ahead, Fred.
I was going to say, I don't think him or Dos Anjos gets McGregor next. Everybody wants to fight McGregor, but I don't see McGregor choosing one of those guys. I think there's more better matchups for McGregor, more that you could sell better.
Dos Anjos is interesting because he was supposed to fight Dos Anjos way back in the day for the lightweight title. Dos Anjos got hurt. Nate Diaz stepped in on 8 days' notice. Nate winds up beating Conor. They have a rematch. The rest is history, right, with Conor and Nate. But Dos Anjos and Conor were supposed to fight, and they have been circling each other for years. Dos Anjos is in the latter stages of his career, 38 years old. He's a threat to Conor. But I see him as beatable. See him as beatable for Conor if it stays standing. If it goes to the ground, I think Conor has trouble. But I think Conor might be able to avoid those situations. Like, I see Dos Anjos as a winnable fight for Conor now as I saw it back then, but it's hard to tell what kind of Conor McGregor is going to come out next time we see him. But that fight makes sense to me. I mean, if you look at the options right now, Fred, you got who? Like Michael Chandler's calling him out. That's something, I guess.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I'd watch that for sure.
But over RDA, like is RDA that much of a is Chandler a better option than RDA? It's marginal, I don't know.
McGregor should fight Masvidal, I say. I think Masvidal's the big star, and he's beatable. Out of all those matchups, if you're McGregor, the Masvidal fight would be the one that's most winnable, I think.
That would be a fun fight. That's a big money fight.
Comes in.
Yeah.
That's the problem, Freddie. Yeah, man, he looks...
No, Conor's going to come back and fight at 205. See how big he is?
That's it, man. Going up against Yuri when he gets back. But the thing is that, man, Conor is, everybody wants him. Everybody wants him. The thing is that somebody's got to get him. And we got to see this, man. Conor's back. He's ready to fight. Dana has to set something up in 2023. Whatever it is, against RDA, against Chandler, against Masvidal. I don't care who it is, but we need to see Conor. He's still relevant. He's still a hot ticket. And he's going to break whatever pay-per-view that he's going to be in again.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see him. And I don't think it really much matters who the opponent is. It could be Dos Anjos, it could be Chandler, it could be Masvidal. I think Masvidal would make the most noise and make the most money. But I think the most important thing is that Conor wins. Because if Conor comes back and can't win a fight, then you really start to question, okay, well, how long can this really go on for? How long does this guy want to keep taking beatings in the octagon for money? How long does this keep going? I think, Conor McGregor's next fight is going to be really important to see if he can actually pull off a victory here. I think a favorable matchup would make sense, especially after the long layoff and the injury. Give him somebody that's going to stand up and trade with him, but can't quite match him for speed or power.
Masvidal.
Yeah. But Masvidal's dangerous, though. Masvidal he's got power, I don't know. He's dangerous.
Listen, you got the BMF title belt still. That's something that you can get people hyped up about because you're fighting Masvidal. He's probably not the best out of the three that you mentioned prior, but if you throw in that title belt with the BMF title belt, it can become interesting. Then it becomes a moneymaker. There's going to be a lot more interest into it. Everybody wants to see Conor wearing another belt, and this is a great way to bring Conor back into a belt-carrying individual. And that's what it comes down to. You got to sell it for the max. And I think Freddie is right. Masvidal's probably the best pick, but you put that title belt on the line, man. Bring the BMF, man. Everybody still knows about it. It's still relevant.
Sure. If you want to. It's kind of a gimmick. Sure, I don't really care about that thing.
It's a gimmick, but gimmicks sell, dude. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Jake Paul.
Look at you.
Look at me, man. It sells. But think about it, man. Conor is that gimmick, but Conor is that guy that delivers. And Conor is that guy that was, a two-time champion. So the thing is that you got to have Conor there and make him fight for something that's going to be at least something worth it. I think the belt thing would work, and I think it would be a great way to start 2023. We're going to see Jones, we're going to see Conor, and we're going to see some heavy-duty new champions. And I think, we've got great guys coming in on Saturday. Like I said, Paddy, from the past, I said he was going to be a big name in the UFC, and he's delivering. And I can see all these guys carrying through, man. It's going to be an interesting 2023 for the UFC.
We'll talk about Paddy the Baddy in a minute here, AJ. I want to tell you a little bit about Conor McGregor, and he tweeted out the other day, I think it was yesterday, he says, "I changed the game once again, ha ha ha." And I don't know exactly what he was referring to. I changed the game once again, ha ha ha. It was kind of vague. But I think what he's talking about is, because it kind of came on the heels of all this stuff with TJ Dillashaw. So TJ Dillashaw got hurt in his last fight, and he's retiring. And because TJ Dillashaw got busted for EPO in the past, people think that TJ Dillashaw isn't really retiring. He's just getting out of the USADA testing pool, which is something that you can do, right? So if you're an active UFC fighter, you have to be tested randomly for drugs by USADA, right? Now, if you retire from the UFC, well, they have no reason to test you. So you're not being drug tested. So you can do whatever you want to help return from injury. Conor McGregor has used this and kind of tiptoed around even admitting that he has taken some things that he wouldn't normally be allowed to take to help recover in his off time while he's not getting tested by USADA. So Conor used this loophole, and, you know, after he broke his leg in that Poirier fight, he said, oh, I'm retired or whatever, don't test me anymore. He gets healed fast from his surgery. He also seems to gain like 20 to 30 pounds of muscle and looked supremely jacked. So you could draw your own conclusions on what Conor's doing now that he's outside of the USADA testing pool. Last month, Conor McGregor said, I will re-enter the USADA testing pool in February, and then we will schedule a fight. And I pointed out at the time that Conor here is clearly admitting that he is not ready to be drug tested in the month of November or December or January, and he will need about 3 months to clean everything out of his system so that he can resume drug testing in February, and he could piss clean, and he could be okay to fight in the UFC again. So that seems to be what Conor did. I don't blame Conor McGregor for doing this. A lot of people are saying, oh, Conor's juicing, Conor's doing this and that, and it's bad. I think if those are the rules that you are given, play by those rules. Don't hate the player, hate the game. If you can exit USADA testing when you want, when it's convenient for you, and you don't have to fight and you're just on your off time, then by all means do it. If you're a UFC fighter and you want to take a year off, 2 years off, whatever you want, you should be able to do it without people knocking at your door at 5 in the morning to take your urine and blood. So that, to me, makes a ton of sense why Conor would want to opt out during this recovery period. Not all UFC fighters have used this because they don't want to use this loophole, but clearly it makes a lot of sense, and it seems to be what TJ Dillashaw might be doing. People are accusing him of doing this. People are saying Dillashaw is not really retired. He's doing what Conor did. He's saying he's retired so he could take steroids to heal up from his injury faster, and then maybe even bulk up and get super jacked, and then he could cycle off the steroids and still have some of the effects and some of the, you know, and then go back into USADA testing pool and keep fighting in the UFC. So people are just assuming that that's the case with TJ Dillashaw, and I think Conor is kind of taking credit for setting the blueprint for that. But I think that it's totally fair to do that. It's well within their right to refuse to be drug tested if they're not preparing for a fight.
I'm going to assume it's for the rehabilitation where it helps. You know, these guys after a surgery, they need to fix whatever needs to get fixed, and rehabilitation can be hard. And if you get this extra boost that helps you, man, I got no problem with it either, man. I think if anything, it should be embraced where you help these guys by telling them like what products are good and, you know, more surrounded, encadré, you know, more have an overview of all that, and let's not act like it doesn't happen. It happens, you know. Yeah.
But look, we saw Anderson Silva as a good example. When he had his leg broken, I mean, he came back and he did have substances that were obviously illegal. But the truth of the matter is, and I agree with Freddie, I mean, when you get a break, like the way Conor got a break, the way Anderson Silva had a break, and numerous other guys, man, it takes a long time to recover from something like that. But when it's your career on the line, I mean, these guys, this is their job. You know, if they don't stand, they don't get paid. And I agree with Freddie. You got to do what it takes because, to be honest, if I was in the same position, I'd do the same thing. I would do whatever it takes to build that muscle, rehabilitate to a point where I'm like super strong and jacked. And then if I want to re-enter, at least I'm going to have that edge again. Look at Conor from the break to where he is today. Most people look, would love to be in his position. It takes years sometimes to recover from something like that. But Conor's already was hitting the bag, like I think like 3 months in.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how crazy it was. But I agree, man. Like, you know, there should be some exemptions to certain things. You know, if he's not fighting, let him do that. If that's what it takes to recover, let him do that. And
well, there is an exemption. The exemption is there. You tell USADA, I'm retired. You tell the UFC, I'm retired. And then whenever you feel like, you say, oh, I'm not retired anymore. Let me fight. That's all you do. It's very easy. And you brought up, well, why not?
A retirement.
Why not? Just say, oh,
maybe
retired.
A rehabilitation break. It's like, you know, it's like, you know.
It's
like,
the same thing.
Yeah, but retirement is completely different in my opinion.
Right.
But
spending time with the family.
You brought up Anderson Silva. He didn't use this loophole. He got hurt. He broke his leg. He maybe did some stuff that he wasn't supposed to heal faster, but he never took himself out of the USADA testing pool. So when he comes back and he fights, all of a sudden he tests positive for something, and then not only is he facing a lengthy recovery of time away from the sport, he's also facing a possible suspension. So it just screws you down the road. So if your bread and butter is fighting and performing, right, you need to make money. Your job is to go out there and train all the time, train hard, and then go and fight in front of millions to make potentially millions. Why wouldn't you do everything within your power to heal as fast as possible from an injury? And why wouldn't the sport, the fans, fellow athletes, even the management condone it and support it? Why not? I don't understand. Now,
I don't understand why the UFC doesn't open it up a bit more.
Is Conor maybe taking it a step further where he's saying, well, I'm healed up, now I'm going to get jacked, you know? Maybe, right? That's helped him get big and whatever, but that's a risk that he's taking. He's going to have to cycle off this stuff if he's on stuff to, you know, get back into USADA and get back into the UFC. So, you know, it's a risk-reward thing, and it's up to the fighters. If they want to take a timeout from drug testing to heal up from an injury and take whatever to do that's outside of the USADA rules, they should be fully allowed to do that. And if they want to take a timeout to get jacked and get huge and then, you know, stop doing that stuff and come back to the UFC and roll the dice, they should be allowed to do that too.
But you know
I think it makes sense.
What gets me confused is that there's certain things allowed in Bellator, you know, where
well,
it's
there's
not
no
allowed
USADA,
in the UFC.
AJ. It's very different.
Right.
Come on.
No,
Look,
absolutely.
if you fight in the
But
UFC, you're under the USADA rules where they're doing random drug tests in and out of competition. Every other mixed martial arts promotion is testing you in competition only, pretty much, right? I mean, there are a few exceptions here and there, but pretty much everywhere, Bellator, stuff like that, you know, it's the regular fight week drug test.
I just think they should reevaluate the list of, like, non-accepted drugs. Like, you know, there's certain performance enhancement drugs or medicines, you know, that should be allowed. And that's what I'm trying to say is that maybe, like, you know, this list is so harsh that it does take away from, you know, the playing field. I mean, these drugs are not going to make you a better fighter. They're just going to help you recover quicker. You know, and that's what I'm trying to say is that I think USADA is too
You don't know. You're
strict.
no doctor.
I'm no doctor, but I'm just seeing, like, you know, all the feedback from the past, man, and it seems that it's a bit too extreme. I mean, there's certain cough medicines that you take that might get you, like, banned.
Sure.
Because it's on the USADA thing. That's what I'm saying. It's a bit too tight, you know? Look,
Well,
I think TRT should be allowed, man.
Taking anything that helps you recover faster, if it's a banned substance, it's going to make you a better fighter because you're going to be able to get more training sessions in and you'll recover in between.
When it comes to injuries,
injuries, right?
When it comes to injuries, there should maybe be some exemptions or whatever for a guy to get back in shape quicker, man. I think that should be embraced. Let's
get Fred some steroids. Let's get Fred back on his feet.
Fred's going to need some too soon, actually, I should say. So Freddie's going through a jiu-jitsu dilemma right now. His knee is, as they say, shot. Pretty banged up. You know, it's going to take some time to recover. But, you know, Freddie's a good example, man. You know, if you could get your hands on some, like, you know, TRT or something like that, man, you know, you'll be back like as Freddie, you know, Belfort.
Let's get it. TRT and THC mix in a gummy. Huh? That'd be good. Let's get that. Let's get that rolling. Yeah. Did the jiu-jitsu sessions this week without Fred. It was sad. It was just like, man, where's my buddy?
Yeah, but Fred, you know what? You might as well go in. If you can't, like, train, you can sit down on the side and watch, you know? Like, that's what Helio Gracie did, man, and look what he became.
To be honest, right now I'm struggling to move, man. Like, my left leg is the one injured, and, man, I've been hopping on my right leg. I got crutches, but, man, it's not comfortable, man. Crutches ain't great, man.
No,
that right leg's taking a beating because I'm always putting weight on it.
Yeah, I've got bad feet and bad ankles. I've been on and off crutches all the time. You guys know me. I'm always getting busted up on my ankles. So it sucks. It sucks.
You need a bit of TRT too, Freddie and Dave.
Of course, man.
I'd do it.
You know?
I'll take some TRTs.
Come on,
I'll
Doc.
take whatever you
Vitor,
got.
if you're listening, man, send it to us.
TRT, steroids, whatever you got, basically. I'll take mushrooms. You know.
You know what Kobe Bryant? I forget what Kobe Bryant did. He went to Europe to get like some type of treatment
stem
that's
cells.
not legal. Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can we inject Fred with
do
stem cells? Hit us up on Super Chat. We're trying to pay for Fred's stem cells tonight.
Listen,
real.
the funniest thing I ever heard, Dave, was the twins. So we have like the twins. One of them's been on our show, and I remember he told me that he was in Russia and he got injured. Just a regular jiu-jitsu, session. He got injured. They took him to the side. They had doctors there and everything. They didn't even tell him what they were going to do. And they're like, okay, quiet. They pulled down his pants and they jab him with the needle in his butt, you know? And he told me that he had no idea what the hell was going on. Like, it's totally normal. And the guy's testosterone level was like the best it's ever been, like, since he was a teen. He never felt stronger. He never felt better. Basically, what he was saying is, it was done right away, man. From the mat to the side changing room, jabbed, done. And he was like, what the fuck did they inject me with? But it was the funniest story, man. But if you could ever hear it straight from Max, one of the twins saying it, it's unbelievable. And that's what it comes down to. In certain countries, it's automatic. Here, man, just to go for an MRI like Freddie, it takes forever. You need like a group of agents to get you an appointment. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't want to get into dissing our system, but yeah.
Yeah,
and as for Russia, man, I'm not going to Russia, man. I don't want to get busted for weed. I don't think Justin would trade an arms dealer for me. He'd probably just let me over there. So
yeah, I mean,
he did, eh? He actually did that. What happened?
Biden did that.
Biden? It's a
you guys didn't get that reference?
No, I didn't get your reference. I don't understand.
Brittany Griner there, that basketball player that was in prison in Russia, she got traded for an arms dealer, Victor Boot.
Oh, they traded her? They got her back?
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a 2-for-1.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to be a 2-for-1,
they
man.
traded her for Victor Boot, that arms dealer. You know that movie that Nicolas Cage played in where he's an arms dealer? Like the story's a bit about that guy?
No.
No. It's a good movie.
So Russia got a guy.
International arms dealer for a basketball player.
Wow. That's interesting.
Grindr got arms. Wow.
That's interesting.
That's crazy.
So that's why I say if I go to Russia and get busted with weed, I don't think Justin's going to trade any arms dealer for me.
I mean, I don't even go to the States with weed. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to a foreign country, I check and double-check twice. Like, I want to go with weed. I want to bring weed with me because I like weed. But I know when I go outside of my country, I shouldn't bring weed. Like, I felt bad for her because, like, 9 years or whatever it was in Russian prison for weed or whatever she had. Maybe she didn't know she had it. Maybe she did know she had it, and she's just trying to get away with something. I don't know. Like, I felt bad for her, but as a weed smoker, I'm kind of like, I mean, I double-check all my shit to make sure I don't have weed when I go to the States because I don't want to get fucked, you know? Like, I don't know. I felt bad for her, no doubt. It sucks. It was too much, and weed should be legal everywhere, all over the world. But I know, as a weed man, that it's not, and I take precautions, you know?
Listen,
I don't know
man.
why she wasn't taking her precautions. She's not a weed professional like me and Fred. Me and Fred would never get caught up like that because we take our precautions. We're going to Russia. You think we're bringing weed? What are you, crazy?
It's crazy. Man, even AJ knows that. Like, when I go to the States, like, I get all my, like, Chinese herbs and everything from my Chinese doctor, and he gives me, like, pills and everything. And sometimes he's like, AJ, just take. I'm like, okay. But I'm gonna go to the States and I leave that shit behind because first of all, there's no French or English on it. It's all Chinese. And I'm like, what if there's something in there that says, you know what, AJ, you're under arrest? Fuck it. So I leave. I'm so nervous. I leave that shit behind. You know, I don't even have to worry about weed. It's all my Chinese stuff that I have.
Well, you shouldn't.
I'm nervous right now.
Yeah. Why? Because what
AJ is talking.
Yeah, I'm always nervous when AJ is talking. Lauren in Cote Luke says, Fred, call for an off-hours MRI. I got an appointment within a week at Verdun Hospital.
What?
That sounds like
what
free.
The hell, man?
What does that mean, off-hours MRI? Do we know what that means?
It's like during the night.
Yeah.
I've heard of those.
Well, who cares, man? That's a good idea. Why not,
Try for
man?
that instead of paying for it, Fred, if you can get an appointment within a week, you know?
Wow,
Yeah.
man. Thanks, Lauren. Man,
Thank you,
very
Lauren.
helpful.
Hopefully we can do that for our boy Fred.
Our network, man, is so, like, well-versed, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys, UFC 282. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been watching a lot of fights. I've been getting hammered on my picks over the past couple events, so I need to come through here with some good, solid parlay pickage, some good wins, some good money. Let's get it going. Jan Blachowicz, Magomed Ankalaev is our main event for the UFC light heavyweight title that has been vacated by Yuri Prochazka, who apparently dislocated his shoulder in the gym, and then his team tried to pop it back in. You've seen this, right? We've all seen this. Been around combat sports or fighting for a long time. You see, you know, guys that have their shoulder dislocated, and then they either pop it back in themselves or they have a friend kind of pull it and pop it back in. I've seen it a bunch of times in pro wrestling. It's a thing that happens, and apparently you can go on and be fine. It's never happened to me. I've never dislocated my shoulder, nor had to help a friend relocate his shoulder. Thank you for that. I'm very thankful because that sounds painful. But I understand that it is a thing that happened, and it happened to Yuri Prochazka, but apparently when they tried to pop his shoulder back in, they did even further damage to his shoulder, so says Dana White, and his shoulder is like completely mangled, and he's going to be out for who knows how long, which really sucks because he had so much promise. But he's no longer the champion. He was supposed to fight Glover Teixeira. That was going to be the main event. It's not happening. The co-main event was Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz. Now they're the main event, and they're fighting for the belt, and Glover will probably fight the winner at some point next year. That seems to be the plan. And just an update, Fred, for you. Lauren says, call between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. No, wait. 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. I took 11:15, had the best parking spot. 11:15 p.m. Took less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
He took an
It's not a
appointment at
bad idea,
11:15 p.m. Fred, you're on this. Fred is on it already. I can tell he's Googling shit right now.
Yeah.
He's like, he's ignored the
Fuck
show. He's like,
Ringside,
I gotta
man.
fix his knee. Fuck everything else.
Guys, I got to go.
There you go. See, this is great. We're getting information from the Ringside Report Network. 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. you should call. And he got an appointment within a week. Fred was going to pay a private system because he was told he had to wait a year for an MRI, but Lauren is saying he got an MRI in a week. That's good. Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate the info for Freddie. Got to get Fred back on the mats. Operation Freddie 2023. Okay. UFC 282. Or maybe 2022, Fred, if we're lucky, all right? Come on. There's not that much longer left in the year, but we can get you back. Okay. Yan and Magomed. It's the main event. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Magomed Ankalaev was my pick at the beginning of the year, way back in January, for the next UFC light heavyweight champion. And I believe at the time the champion was Glover Teixeira. So a lot had to happen between then and now, and a lot has happened, right? Glover lost the belt to Yuri. Yuri vacated the belt, and now Magomed finds himself in a title fight against the former champion Jan Blachowicz. Jan hits like a truck. He's got some solid wrestling. He's good all around. But so is Magomed. Yeah, free MRI, Fred. Better free than not free, right? Better. Magomed Ankalaev can wrestle. can stand. He's got power. He's got a hell of a chin. Only man to defeat him in the UFC is Paul Craig. Paul Craig was losing that fight, but Paul Craig has great jiu-jitsu and managed to secure a triangle choke with 1 second left in the fight back in 2018. Since then, Magomed Ankalaev has won 9 straight, a TKO over Anthony Smith in his last fight. Magomed Ankalaev, 30 years old, 6'3", 205-pounder from, you guessed it, Dagestan, Russia, where everybody's from. He's like a giant Khabib. He is the man. He's Magomed. Dagestan continues to take over the UFC. Dagestan has the UFC lightweight champion in Islam Makhachev. Who knows? They may have the UFC welterweight champion or middleweight champion possibly next year with Khamzat Chimaev. And here I believe Dagestan will have another UFC champion coming up with Magomed, the big man, the beast, Ankalaev. I am pumped. This is the guy that I have been telling you about for years now. Years! I have been singing his praises. And once again, could not be more impressed with him. Over the past several years, he has proven me right time and time again. Right, every time Magomed fights, like I make a big deal out of it, and I guarantee his victory, and he continues to win. And once again, my friends, Magomed Ankalaev coming in as the favorite. Minus 313.
Well, that was our prediction.
Minus 313 over at Bet99.com. Magomed's going to win. It's a guarantee.
Listen, homie, we said that from the beginning of the year. We said that Islam would be the champion before the end of 2023. And we said the same thing about Magomed. We said he would be the champion before the end of 2023, and it's going to happen, man. This is his destiny, man. This guy is like, look, the Paul fight was just an unfortunate glitch with 1 second that will never happen again if they ever fight, like if they ever meet again at some point. Could happen, but Magomed is destined to be champion. The Dagestanians, man, are destined to be the front holders to the UFC for a very, very long time. And there's more of them coming, and it's going to be like, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a massacre coming out. These guys are taking everything.
I think it's Magomed
Saturday,
time.
Man.
Patrick C. Hamilton, longtime viewer of the show, longtime member of the show, dropping a super chat. He's a super chat leader. The lucky 777 777s for my man Patrick out in Saskatchewan. Patrick says Ankalaev will be my only bet of this card. Patrick knows. Patrick has been watching the show for years now. He knows that we've been on the Ankalaev train for years, and this is a long time coming. It's Magomed time, minus 313. $100 on Magomed gets you 132 over at Bet99.com. So if you want to go hard on old Mago, you go hard if you want to. It's Magomed time, baby. I think that Magomed takes it to Glover. Sorry, not Glover. Yan. But I don't know if he puts him away. Yan is very tough. Magomed by KO plus 120. Magomed by decision plus 200. I like that decision. I think Magomed by decision. But honestly, I also like Magomed by submission plus 1,000. That is very possible. That is very possible. Yeah. Magomed by submission, beats him up, slaps in a rear naked choke. Magomed has good grappling. Magomed has a good top game. Magomed by submission Glover is not bad.
Easily.
Say it again.
That Glover Yan fight, that finished by a tap, no?
Yes, right.
And I remember Yan not giving a lot of resistance on the grappling side.
That's true. That's true.
So it's a good choke. Bet to throw in. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. However, Magomed has never actually won a fight by submission. He's never won any. The only submission on his record is a submission win in his 5th pro fight, but it was a submission due to punches. He just punched a guy so much that he tapped out, but he's never actually locked on a submission hold and finished somebody, made them tap with a choke or something, or an armbar, right? Nothing like that. But I can see it happening in this fight. Like, I could see Magomed slapping on a submission. At plus 1,000, like, it's worth a little bit right there. Magomed on a submission, that's worth a...
It's destined to happen at some point, right? And look, with Yan, it's a possibility. We saw that with Israel, man. Like, you know, it could happen. But, you know, Magomed has everything to make that possible. He's 9 years younger than Yan. The guy has a lot less wear and tear, man. He only has 19 fights. The Yan over 38 fights. I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear. But he's a much more powerful striker, Dave. So if anything can happen, he could knock out Yan. If he doesn't knock out Yan and it goes into the latter rounds, I think his youth is going to take over, and his top game might actually get him to a rear naked choke. I could see that happening. But let's not forget, man, like Yan is not going to want to go into the clinch or try to take this guy down because Magomed has an 86% takedown defense. That is insane. So there's no way you're taking Magomed down, but Magomed will take you down. And I'm telling you, for a minus 1,000, I think that's a possibility. Plus 1,000, I think that's a possibility. And it's going to happen at some point. He will get a submission. This could be the fight that he does it. Yeah,
I think a submission makes sense. He's got 5 rounds to do it. Magomed by submission. Glover Teixeira, I keep saying Glover Teixeira. Jan Blachowicz, very tough to finish. And only been knocked out by one man in his entire career, and that was Thiago Santos, who was on a tear at that time. I mean, Thiago Santos, big power, big hammer, right? That guy hits like a truck. I don't think Magomed has the power of Thiago Santos. I think he's got better movement. You know, I think he's a better striker, but I don't think he has the one-punch power of a Thiago Santos. I mean, that guy was very, very powerful. But Magomed definitely has good hands. I don't think he knocks out Yan. I think a decision is possible, but I think a submission is possible too. Either way, I like Magomed Ankalaev to win this fight. Jan Blachowicz is very tough, but he's 39 years old, and I just think 30-year-old Magomed Ankalaev, it's too much. It's his time, and it's going to happen. Magomed. Freddie, you're going with Magomed too, right? We're all in agreement with Magomed?
Yeah. Decision is the smartest pick, I think. But, yeah, he might just overwhelm him, but, yeah, I got Magomed.
We all picked, actually, AJ and I both picked Magomed Ankalaev to be the world champion by the end of the year. Fred had Yuri Prohaska, which, you know, because of the injury, it's not happening. I think we're all right. But he was on there. I think we're all correct, we're all right. Really. You know, as long as Magomed wins against Yan, we're all pretty much correct. Because Yuri is the champion, and so will Magomed, right? He will be as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. You got to give it to Freddie because he was right on that one. But, like, you know, unexpected injuries, man, and all of a sudden, boom, here we are. So we all want, to be honest, but listen.
However,
we'll see how Yuri
none of us picked. None of us had Leon Edwards as the welterweight champion or Alex Pereira as the middleweight champion. We all thought Israel would hold on to the belt. Yeah. And Kamaru would too. Actually, no. Fred was the only one who thought Kamaru would. You and I, AJ, both thought Khamzat would make his way to the belt. It didn't happen this year. But we all did predict Islam Makhachev would become the UFC lightweight champion by the end of the year, and he did.
Yep.
So there's that.
Freddie
and I both predicted Volkanovski would be the featherweight champion by the end of the year, and he will be. AJ had Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It happens, man.
It happens. These things happen. Okay. We've got other fights on this card. Paddy the Baddy is in the co-main event.
Oh, I love Paddy, man.
Paddy the Baddy.
Talking about Conor and Paddy the Baddy, man, it was a quick story that he said. He says he went to Conor's bar, and he was there with Meatball, and like he says, man, when we get there, they were drinking like crazy and eating like crazy. And Conor called, and he says, you know, let them have fun, whatever. At the end of the night, Conor took care of their bill. Like, nice. Like he was straight up and took whoever was in that entourage with Paddy, not just him and Meatball, he took care of that whole bill. Like, he really has a lot of respect for Paddy. And I'm telling you, this Paddy character, man, he's more than just a fighter. I mean, he's really he's a very well-liked guy, man. The amount of stuff that he's done, he's opened up a foundation already for, like, homelessness. He's involved with a lot of things, like, you know, in so many aspects. And he's not even, like, close to being at a champion title fight. But like he said, this is the people's fight on Saturday night. It's for Paddy, and there's no doubt about it, man. This guy here is something. I really like him, and I think in 2023, this guy's going to be on the top 10, man.
You know who doesn't like Paddy the Baddy?
Who?
Ariel Helwani. Do you see that stuff?
What? No, what happened, man? Inform me, Ariel.
Paddy the Baddy had Dana White on his podcast.
Okay.
And they said some negative things about Helwani because Dana White doesn't like Helwani.
That we know.
And then Helwani did like an hour-long rebuttal to them.
Okay.
Like really just
what
went.
What the hell did he say?
I watched some of it because people were talking about it today. And I was like, my God. It was a lot. It was I mean, you know, Helwani obviously took offense to what Dana and Paddy were saying. And, you know, if Dana and Paddy were talking about me, I'd probably do an hour on it too. So I can't blame him for doing it. It's just.
But what did he take offense on Paddy? What did Paddy say that was so bad? Because Paddy doesn't have no hatred for anybody.
He says Paddy said negative things about Helwani, and Helwani answered.
Was he right, Paddy? In your opinion? Not to put you on the spot, Dave, but let's be honest.
Not about everything. I didn't hear all of Paddy's comments. I just kind of briefly checked out the story, and I was like, whatever. It's Paddy the Baddy and Dana White and Ariel Helwani and Dana White beefing again because they don't like each other and whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't. It's not something that I'm gonna really dive into to get all the information because.
No, I'm curious.
It has nothing to do with fighting. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the actual fight, so I don't really care. It's just kind of outside MMA drama that I really don't care for. But I did see that Helwani did an hour of it, an hour talking about it and playing the clips. I watched about 10 minutes of it, and it was enough. It was enough.
Man, Helwani, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's had a few of those like shows where he's had to like. You know, give his opinion back. Like, you know, he's had the...
He's the only guy in MMA media that... I mean, he does a good job. He's very successful and all that, and it's fine. But he's the only guy in MMA media that seems to have to, like, say, hey, this guy is saying bad things about me. And, like, it seems like I don't know him personally, but it seems like a lot of people say bad things about him all the time. Right? Like, he seems to have to defend himself a lot. And I don't see anybody else, like a Luke Thomas or any of the other kind of bigger names in the MMA media space that have to go and sit and defend themselves on a constant basis and do, you know, whole rebuttal episodes. I don't understand what the deal is. Like, why is he so polarizing? You know? I'm not, like, a huge fan because, like... I don't know. I'm not super into it, but like he does a good job and he breaks a lot of news. So
because he's a basketball guy first, that's why.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think he likes MMA. I think he likes basketball too, probably. I don't know. Maybe he'd rather do basketball. Love, Dave? I don't think the basketball players would talk about him as much because he wouldn't be as important in the basketball world as he is in MMA, right? Like, he's kind of a big name in MMA, right? Because he's, like, one of the bigger reporters. But in basketball, he'd kind of fade into the background and no one would know who he is. He's not Stephen A. Smith or Shaq. You know, those guys make a difference.
You guys saw Shaq get pushed into the tree?
What?
I saw a still image of it, but I didn't actually see the video. What happened with pushed into a tree?
The
Kenny
Shaq
Smith,
attack?
you know, like Kenny Smith, he's like 6'1", and he has this thing where he runs to the screen to show the thing, and then Shaq wanted to run with him, and they're both running, and Kenny just gave him a shove, and Shaq flew into the tree, man. That was yeah, Kenny Smith. I didn't expect that.
Good for him. The Shaq attack.
He didn't get hurt, did he? I hope not.
No,
he's a big boy, Shaq. Man, I seen Shaq's shoe size when I was in New York City. I cannot believe that shoes can be made that big. This guy is like a real Sasquatch, man. It was unbelievable. So I wouldn't – listen, man, if that guy ran into a tree, I feel sorry for the tree. But, damn, I got to see that clip now.
So Paddy the Baddy. Paddy the Baddy is fighting Jared Gordon here coming up in the co-main event on Saturday night.
Paddy.
And Paddy the Baddy coming in as the favorite, a pretty big favorite, I believe. Minus 267 here for Bet99. Gordon plus 210 the underdog. It seems about right to me. Jared Gordon is a solid fighter, a solid 155-pounder. He's won 4 of his last 5. I just think Paddy is on a roll right now, and he's a little bit more dangerous, I think, especially standing up, but on the ground as well. Paddy is pretty good. Paddy looks in top shape. He's got a lot of momentum riding into this fight. He's 27 years old. Gordon is 34. I think we've seen the best version of Jared Gordon, and I think Paddy Pimblett continues to improve. I think the best version of Jared Gordon is very good, but I think Paddy Pimblett could surpass him. And just the way Gordon is talking about Paddy, he's like too respectful and too nice and almost talking about him like he's a fan of his more than his opponent. And that doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. Just all the talk from Jared Gordon leaning into the fight makes me feel like he's going to lose. So, look, I like Jared Gordon. He's, I saw at his press conference, he said his father is Jewish and his mother is Italian. So it's, the best of both worlds, really. It's fantastic, AJ.
That's why he was in jail. That's why he was in jail. That says it all right there. But I'm going to tell you,
not the Jewish side, together. That's not the Jewish side that's going to jail.
You put those both, man, together as one, man. They're spending time in a cell, man.
All right, we're all going to jail.
Madoff.
Listen. You know what?
Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, when Jews go to jail, we do it big, okay? Big.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, big crimes. Huge.
Bugsy Siegel. Listen, I'm going to tell you something, Dave. I like Jared. And, there's a lot of respect, and so does Paddy have a lot of respect for Jared. Kushner, too. But the thing is this.
Is he in jail yet?
Paddy realized, not yet, but he should have been, actually.
I don't know.
But that's a long story when his early youth with murder mystery was on one of those things.
You're a murder mystery.
Was it him? Oh, no. Wrong guy.
You don't know who you're talking about
anymore. What I said there was wrong character.
So who are you picking? Before we get into more trouble, could you just pick Paddy or the other guy? Pick Paddy.
No,
Let me go to the next fight.
Listen.
Paddy. Thanks, Fred. No.
A lot of respect on both sides, Paddy. Why? He's bigger. He's faster. And he's probably going to submit this guy. If anything's going to come out to submission on that fight, it's Paddy the Baddy, man.
I don't think he submits him.
I'm telling you, man. Submission is in the card on that one.
Maybe.
Tell you what, man. None of the main event and the co-main event is not on my parlay, man. I got a small parlay this week, man.
That's interesting. I think Paddy could knock him out.
The odds.
I think it's going to be a knockout.
I think Ankalaev's going to win, and I think Paddy Pimblett's going to win. Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy about the odds.
Okay. Other fights on this card, we got Santiago Ponzinibbio, who was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler. Lawler fell through, got hurt this week. So Alex Morono steps in. It's going to be a catchweight 180 fight, 180-pounder, because Morono couldn't be asked to drop to 170 this close to the fight. He's taking the fight. Ponzinibbio remains on the card. Ponzinibbio coming in as a solid favorite as well. Morono taking this fight on short notice. Ponzinibbio minus 186, Morono plus 150. I'm not putting this fight on my parlay. I don't know. I could see Morono pulling this one off.
Yeah, I think this is one of the fights where Morono is in a
maybe not
good position, man. He hasn't lost in 2 years. The guy's 4 years younger, man. You got Santiago 1-3 since 2021. I mean, he doesn't have to cut weight. He's going to be. I think Morono is going to be a solid pick to beat Santiago on this one.
Okay, well, we'll see what AJ's parlay has in store for us. Darren Till fighting on this card, taking on Dricus du Plessis. Till, just 29 years old, has lost 4 of his last 5 to some very good fighters, but still has had trouble keeping wins together. He went 17-0 and then lost to Woodley when he fought for the welterweight title and hasn't really been able to put it all together again. His last fight was back in September of last year, 2021, and he got submitted by Derek Brunson after taking a pretty nasty eye poke in that fight. Darren Till coming back here. I don't know. Dricus du Plessis, 28 years old from South Africa. He has won 5 in a row, including a very impressive decision victory over Brad Tavares last time in the octagon. Dricus has heavy hands, has solid cardio, is pretty well-rounded.
He's a better grappler. Than Till.
I think he is a better grappler, but I don't think he's going to grapple with Till. I think that he's going to stand there, they're going to trade, and Dricus is going to knock him out. I've got Dricus du Plessis by knockout, second, maybe third round, but I think Dricus puts Till away. I don't know what happened to Darren Till. Maybe it was too much too soon, but, you know, he fought for the belt. He was undefeated. He was beating Cerrone and Wonderboy. He fought Woodley, and, you know, he was getting arrested in different countries, doing different things, causing trouble. He let that star fighter lifestyle get the better of him, and he hasn't been able to recover, and I don't know if he will. And it's too bad, you know, but that's how some careers go sometimes. You know, you start out hot, and then things don't go your way, and then you fade out. And I feel like Darren Till may be on his way out. It's kind of sad. It is sad because he had so much promise. I mean, the guy fought for a belt, and then since that fight, he just hasn't been able to string wins together. Has one win in the past, how many years now? I mean, he beat Kelvin Gastelum by split decision. It was an impressive fight.
Wasn't he the future AJ?
That's what AJ said
Darren
to us.
Till, at the time, man, he was. But then things went south. And you're
One
right,
win
man.
in 4 years, man. That's not good.
It's terrible. Listen, but you know what? This is a kind of a step down for him. If there's anybody that he could beat, is this guy. If you look at who he lost to Woodley. He lost to Masvidal. He lost to Whitaker. He lost to Derek Brunson. Now he's fighting this guy. He has a chance. He has a chance to keep going in the UFC. The UFC likes him. Dana White likes him. That's why he's still there, considering all the losses that he's had. So I think this, I'm not going to say there's no way this is a give-me fight, because the South African is one tough dude. My heart, you know, wants Darren Till, but I also believe that Darren Till has a pretty strong heart in saying, if I don't win this fight, it's all over in the UFC. He knows that. Nobody can protect him in the UFC anymore if he doesn't win this fight. And I think he's going to put it all on the line on this one. You know, I was going to go with the South African. He hasn't lost a fight in 4 years, but it's only 4 fights in 4 years. I think Darren Till has had the opportunity to fight better, stronger, much wiser fighters. And I think being on the line, I think Darren Till is going to come out. And let's not forget, this is a Darren Till that came from a really bad part, you know, in his hometown, in his country of England. They sent him to Brazil to get better. You know, he was a troubled street kid, and he knows that if he doesn't win on Saturday night, it's the end of the line for him. So I'm going with Darren Till on this. I think his heart's going to come out. Not literally, but...
All right. Fred, you know, what do you think? Dricus or Darren Till? Break the tie.
I got Dricus.
There you go. Fred going with reason and the odds makers. Bryce Mitchell and Ilia Topuria, 2 undefeated featherweights. Oh, my God, I'm looking forward to this fight.
Bryce!
Ilia Topuria fights out of Spain. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is of Georgian descent. He's from the country of Georgia. Born in Germany, grew up in Georgia, has lived in Spain for a good chunk of his life as well. He's international, this guy. 25 years old, ridiculously heavy hands, has knocked out 4 of his last 5 opponents, including 3 straight knockouts. A knockout over Ryan Hall in the first round of their fight. A knockout where he knocked Jay Herbert dead in the second round of his last fight. Jay Herbert just went to sleep with 1 punch. This guy is super dangerous, Ilia Topuria, and really, really good all around. Like, stand up, on the ground, this guy's got it. Bryce Mitchell, 15-0, also all around, incredible, from Arkansas, also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, relentless wrestling, relentless pressure, never, ever stops going forward. These two guys are young. Topuria's 25, Mitchell's 28. This may be the future of the featherweight division, and we're seeing it right here on the opening fight of this UFC 282 pay-per-view. Incredible fight, incredible matchmaking. I cannot wait for this one. And like Fred said, thug nasty, and that's who I'm going with, just based on one simple fact, one simple sport that isn't so simple. It's wrestling. It's very complicated. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do very well. And the best ones make it look easy. And Bryce Mitchell makes his wrestling look easy and effortless and smooth. And I think that as good as Topuria is standing up and on the ground, once Bryce Mitchell gets that top position, once Bryce Mitchell gets those takedowns, it's going to be very hard to stop. Topuria may be able to neutralize some of the offense from his back, but he'll still be on his back, and Mitchell will be on top doing that thug nasty thing. Mitchell, plus 128, underdog. Topuria, minus 158, the favorite. I think we are all in disagreement with the odds makers. We all like the wrestler from Arkansas, Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell.
Dave, man,
I can't wait for the Joe Rogan interview. Is Joe Rogan there this weekend? I don't know, man. Is Joe Rogan on the pay-per-view?
You should
be. I mean, if he is.
Yes.
I mean, he usually interviews the winner.
Oh, I thought he was going to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. I want to hear that.
No. But, I mean, Bryce has been calling him out so much, man. I want to see that face off.
Has he been calling out Joe Rogan?
Of course. He's like, Joe Rogan doesn't have the guts to have me on his show. Joe Rogan won't debate me. You haven't seen that?
No, I have not. I stay away from Bryce Mitchell's.
About? It's the MAGA country,
man. About?
No.
Bryce Mitchell says Joe Rogan doesn't want to debate him on flat Earth and things like that.
Flat Earth? Bryce Mitchell thinks the Earth is flat? I may have to rethink my position on picking him for this fight. I don't know how smart this guy is. If you think the Earth is flat, I really got to question your intelligence, right?
Debate him, Joe.
You could debate him. Yeah, debate him, Joe. It's real. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. I'll debate him. The Earth is flat. No, it's not, you fucking idiot.
I thought it was on his political stance, Freddie. I forgot about the flat Earth thing. I remember he said that, and I was like, "Oh, the guy's whacked." I thought he was joking, but on his political stance,
having a different political point of view, that's totally fine. If you want to be a Republican or a Democrat or a communist or an anarchist,
no, don't be a communist.
Yeah, sure, be whatever you want. You could be a communist, an anarchist. You could even be a nihilist. All right, be a nihilist if you want to. You know what a nihilist is, right, dude? I don't care about anything. Anyhow, you guys you guys haven't seen The Big Lebowski? You know the nihilists? They don't care about anything, dude. Anyhow, you could be all those things, but you can't be a flat earther. That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Nasty.
And you can't believe in Bigfoot either. It's also ridiculous.
What? Blasphemy,
Sorry,
Dave. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Listen, all to say is this, that Bryce Mitchell is completely like whacked, but the thing is, go with him for the win, because this guy's going to get his 10th career submission, and it's going to happen on Saturday, regardless of his beliefs, flat earth, Toblerone not being triangular, Sasquatch, all the rest of his craziness. This guy's going to win. He is something, man. He is a phenomenon, and you know it'll be interesting.
Toblerone? Does
Maybe
anybody
Bryce
think
Mitchell,
that they're not triangles? Aren't they triangles? It's like a triangle, right? It's like this triangle. Toblerone. Right?
Where's the tongue, man? Where's the tongue?
Now.
Illuminati, Dave. Oh, you just.
I know. I was doing that to signal the flat Earth psychos and freak them out. See, Dave did this. That means he's in. That means he's trying to hide the truth about the flat Earth. You see, guys? You see? He's just pointing to the signals. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think that's what Bryce wants to argue, though. But yeah, debate it.
But it'll be interesting if it happens.
Yeah. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis.
Angelo,
our good buddy, checking us out tonight.
Flat Earth,
What's
Angelo.
up, Angelo?
Thank you.
Angelo doesn't believe in the flat Earth. Angelo sent us Facebook stars.
What?
Thank you, Angelo. I'm not exactly
so cool.
sure how that works, but I know it is supporting the Ringside Report Network. So thank you, Angelo, for doing that. I honestly, I love it.
I just saw Angelo with a picture of two girls. Was that him?
Of course.
Damn, Angelo. He's like the Hugh Hefner of like Laval.
That's what he does. Angelo's the man.
Hey, he is, man. Styles.
All right. So that's the pay-per-view, UFC 282. We're all going with Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell. We've got some fights on the prelims, too. Chris Curtis, Joaquin Buckley on the prelims. Very interesting fight there. Curtis is a slight underdog. I think I'm going to put some money on Curtis to pick up the victory. He's not going to be on my parlay, but I will definitely throw a couple bucks on Chris Curtis at plus 133 over Joaquin Buckley. As a matter of fact, I like Curtis by knockout in that fight. So Curtis by KO plus 266 is definitely worth a look there. Some other prelims that we have on
Edmonds there.
What?
Raul Rosa,
Shabazian, the former top prospect, man.
Edmund Shabazian taking on Dalcha Lunjambula. Shabazian minus 300, the favorite. He should win.
Yeah, but Raul Rosa, that's the prelim you got to watch, man. That's the 18-year-old kid, man. He got signed as a 17-year-old.
Oh, this is the child boy.
Oh, that's a Dalcha. Yeah. Okay.
Raul Rosas Jr., who's 18. He'll be fighting Jay Perrin on the prelims in the bantamweight division. I got to bet against the 18-year-old. I mean, when you're 18, how are you going to be a grown man?
I'm taking the 18-year-old.
Yeah,
he's huge for a bantamweight.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him.
Super, super good.
Looks like Bigfoot Silva.
Huh. Okay, maybe he'll win. I don't know. What do I know? I didn't know who this guy was. He is the favorite to win, though. Betting odds like him.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting the main event on the prelim card, so a lot of hype behind him. Hope he lives up to it, man.
And the UFC's feeding him a guy who's just lost 2 straight. So there's that. I could see. Okay.
He's on my parlay.
Okay. Oh, Freddie. Okay. This seems like a setup fight, though, maybe, eh? Okay. Smart move. I like Jairzinho Rosenstrike, minus 175 to knock out Chris Daukaus. I think he knocks him out, too. Jairzinho by knockout, minus 123. That's a good prelim fight, too. Some decent prelims. Let me give you my parlay, and then we'll get the parlay from the boys. Here we go. We're going to start. This is a main card prelim. We're going to give you 4 fights here on the main card. Team Dave, UFC 282. Dricus du Plessis over Darren Till, minus 184. We're going to go with Magomed Ankalaev, minus 313 over Jan Blachowicz. We're going with Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell, plus 128 over Ilya Tupuria. And we're going with Paddy the Baddy, minus 267. $20 gets you 130.80 over at Bet99.com. That is the Team Dave parlay plus 541. $20 gets you 130.80. It is, once again, a 4-fight parlay for the main card. Paddy the Baddy, Bryce Mitchell, Magomed Ankalaev, and Dricus du Plessis. And I also am giving you Magomed Ankalaev by submission plus 1,000 and Chris Curtis by knockout, or just Chris Curtis straight up. Either way, it's plus money on Chris Curtis over Joaquin Buckley as some single bets for you and your friends. All right, who wants to do it?
I got Raul Rosas, Bryce Mitchell, and Dricus du Plessis. That's my part.
Freddie going with the man-child, Raul Rosas. He's going with Thug Nasty, and he's going with Big Drike. Dricus du Plessis from South Africa, and there is the Team Fred parlay. We've got the minus 250 Rosas, plus 128 Mitchell, minus 184 Dricus. 20 gets you 101.88 over at Bet99.com. That is a solid Team Fred parlay right there. That's good stuff. AJ's going to give us a 25-fight parlay. It's going to be something ridiculous.
That's right, man. 282 is going to be a full card here. So I'm going to start off with Magomed for the win, like we predicted at the beginning of the year that he would be champion. And I think that's going to come out on Saturday. Paddy the Baddy, man, is going to go with a big win here, much bigger than Jared. And I think, you know, if you want to put on the side, I think he'll pull off a submission over Jared. I think Alex Morono on 5-day notice is going to come in and beat Santiago. And then I'm going to go the opposite, man. I think Darren Till, like I said, he's going to have to put his heart on the line here. He needs this win. You know, he's had like a crazy career. You know, I did call him a future prospect at that time, and I still have like a lot of faith in him. And I think Darren Till will pull it off on Saturday night. Then I'm going to go with Bryce Mitchell. Regardless of his political beliefs or whatever, Bryce Mitchell, man, is the man. And he will be the future. And that's it, man. I wanted to go with a young teen, but you know what? I'm going to stick with the main card and go with that.
So there's AJ's main card parlay. It is a 5-fight parlay. A few underdogs on this one. He's going with Magomed. He's going with Paddy the Baddy. He's going with Alex Morono plus 150. He's going with Darren Till plus 150. And he's going with Bryce Mitchell plus 128.20 gets you 534.14 over at bet99.com. That is a decent parlay from AJ.
That is,
I don't hate it, AJ. I could see all these fights coming through for you.
Listen, the Morono fight, man, it could happen on 5 days' notice, man. He doesn't have to cut weight. You know, he's a terror, that guy, man. Santiago hasn't looked good in the last couple of years.
Indeed. I could see that.
So Netherlands are going to create a surprise tomorrow, man. Netherlands are going to beat Argentina.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, man. Argentina's not that good, man. Other than Messi, man.
Messi,
not impressed with Argentina. So I got Netherlands. Brazil's going to beat Croatia.
Yeah.
I think France is going to beat England. But, hey,
yes.
England is good, man. England's got a good young team, and they've been having success in recent years. So I got France and I got Portugal. So my semifinals are Netherlands, Argentina, and France, Portugal. And sorry, Netherlands, Brazil, and France, Portugal. And I still have Brazil winning it all.
All right,
man,
so there's France World Cup bracket. He's got France over England, Portugal over Morocco, which makes sense. Portugal, Morocco, Saturday at 10. France, England, Saturday at 2. Tomorrow we got games. Croatia, Brazil tomorrow at 10 a.m. Netherlands, Argentina tomorrow at 2. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Netherlands over Argentina as well, Fred. I'm going to go with Brazil over Croatia. I'm going to go with France over England, but of course. And I'm going to go with Portugal over Morocco. How about that win of Morocco over Spain?
Man, that was crazy. Hey, good for Morocco, man. They made it, man. You know, impressive through the
I'm a Real Madrid fan, and Spain had too many Barcelona players. And, I mean, Barcelona, man, is not even in the Champions League right now. They're in the Europa League, which is like second tier. And Spain has all these young Barcelona players that aren't proven. That was a bad selection. Fuck Spain.
And Freddie, you know what? If you look at Morocco, too, a lot of their players, man, are playing for top, tier clubs. So it's not like it's Morocco without having – they have top elite players on that side. So you know what? Portugal still has to watch out. But I really, really was impressed with Portugal's play over Switzerland. Man, did these guys dominate. That's without Ronaldo in there. His replacement, that young kid, comes in and scores a hat trick. It's unbelievable. They have Ronaldo and that young kid on the pitch on Saturday. Jesus, is that kid unbelievable. But you know what? I've been a big Ronaldo fan. I would say he's the best player in the world. But on Saturday, they have these two guys on the pitch at the same time. It's going to be like a devastation. I think Portugal has one of the strongest possibilities to make it to the final than any other World Cup they've been to. I think Ronaldo could pull it off. I still believe, Brazil is up there, man.
Yeah.
So, they could pull off another World Cup win.
I was giving my bracket.
Let
me give you, you're giving everybody a big chance to win, AJ. You got to give it to everybody. I'm going with France. Shut the fuck up. I'm going with France over England. I'm going with Portugal over Morocco. And then I'm going to go with France over Portugal, but of course. And then Netherlands and Brazil. I'm going to go with Brazil, of course. And then I have France and Brazil in the finals with France winning the World Cup.
Brazil.
Back to back.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell you, you guys are going to be disappointed because I told you, man, the end is going to be Brazil versus Portugal. That's going to be the final. I won't tell you who I think is going to win until we get closer to that date, but my prediction is Portugal will be facing Brazil for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, man. Remember what I said.
France. All
Not
day,
to take away
every
from
day.
France.
I'm rocking the jersey. I'm rocking the
man.
scarf. I'm geared up. I'm ready. We're pumped. I'm going to rock a different France jersey tomorrow when I do Wrestling Uncensored with Johnny North. I've got France winning the World Cup. Angelo's got France winning the World Cup, my man.
Nah, Angelo.
Yeah.
Listen,
Aaron
man.
Judge signed with the Yankees. France is going to win the World Cup. Everything's coming up. Big Dave. Everything's coming up, Team Dave. And we're going to keep it going this weekend for UFC 282. I think Brazil's making the finals, Fred, but I don't think they're winning because they're going to play France.
Too much offense on Brazil.
Listen,
AJ, who do you have winning the World Cup? I got France. Fred's got Brazil.
Listen, I'm not telling you. I said that the final match is going to be Brazil versus Portugal.
You motherfucker.
I'm going to tell you this.
You have to tell me.
Angelo just said something. He says the goalie from Morocco
is
from Montreal.
AJ. He said, shut up, AJ. That's what Angelo said.
If I don't hear a shut up from Angelo, there's something wrong. But the thing is this. He's from Montreal, man. So maybe we'll have to start supporting Morocco. I'm just saying.
I mean, Angelo my father was born in Montreal.
Angelo says, Darren Till is losing. Darren Till is losing, and France is winning it all. AJ, wrong again.
Listen, man, you guys are going to be wrong big time on Saturday night, and you're going to be, like, wrong on December 18th. And listen, man, I'm going to try to see if I could throw, like, a boys' night only. I want to have the kids. It's Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? It's all about the kids. You know? I don't want to be like the Grinch. Just have the boys over, and we can watch the World Cup at my place or something.
There's not many games left here.
December 18th, man.
You know, December 18th.
It's like at 10 a.m.
Yeah, the game's early in the morning.
On a Saturday?
I'm watch it while
Sunday, I mean.
It's a Sunday.
You don't go to church? You don't go to, like, your
church
synagogue, and you go straight to, like, the game, man.
You know what December 18th is? At night, sundown, first night of Hanukkah, baby. Let's go.
So you better party in the morning, man. Sunday.
I'm going to party. I'm going to party at night. What are you talking? I can't party in the morning. I got to save my energy for a Hanukkah party at night. I got to light 2 candles. Got to eat some latkes. I got to spin some dreidels. It's going to be fantastic. Fuck the elf on the shelf. I got dreidel on the table. All right?
Hey, don't mess with the elf on the shelf.
I don't know about that. I got dreidel on the table. I never seen no elf. This is my miniature
Connor.
He's all right.
Don't trust an elf, man.
Cool.
You'll steal
I don't
money
like
from
elves.
your
They're creepy. I like Santa. Santa's a nice guy. Santa's cool. Elves are weird.
Not if it's Bad Santa. One of the best movies for Christmas.
Will Ferrell's all right.
Will Ferrell, man. Yeah,
I like Will Ferrell.
I'd say.
Fred, you like Will Ferrell?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Talladega Nights, man. You're going to say that to Freddie.
Come on, man.
You guys seen Step
Brothers?
Brothers?
You're not first, you're last.
You seen Step Brothers?
Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Step Brothers is my favorite. That's my favorite Will Ferrell movie.
Talladega Nights.
I like that. Him and John C. Reilly. Oh, John C. Reilly's in Talladega Nights, too. I don't know. I like Step Brothers.
was good, man.
Yeah, that's all right. Step Brothers, to me, is my favorite. All right. That's it. We're done. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Good night.
I'll be back tomorrow night for something. Yeah, wrestling talk with Johnny North. Get ready for it. It's going to be good.
Johnny!
And that's going to be tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Wrestling Uncensored. And then on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, join us right here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela. Dropping the stars. I'm not sure where that puts him in the super chat or anything, but thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Patrick C. Hamilton. Thank you, Angelo, for dropping the stars and the super chats here tonight on the show. Shout out to all the members, Patrick, Angelo, Silent by Deadly, and everybody else tuning in live or later. We appreciate you all supporting the Ringside Report Network. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the UFC 282 watch-alongs. I don't know if AJ will be here, but we'll definitely have some surprises and some fun. And Fred will be electric. Fred will be electric.
AJ won't be there.
What?
I bet AJ won't be there.
Yeah, I don't think AJ is going to be there, but you know.
I'll try to.
That's in 48 hours.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, we'll talk to you again real soon. I'll be back tomorrow night and then again on Saturday right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.